Okay, so you guys are probably as freaking out or freaked out as I am, knowing that we are only a few days away from 2025. We're only a few days away. I mean, we have Christmas in a few days, and then after that, it's New Year's Eve, which is so wild. It felt like I was at MegaCon like a few weeks ago. Just a few weeks ago. That's how it feels. Like I was just there a few weeks ago, and now, we're heading into 2025. So wild. And, thinking that this coming year, there's so many different new exciting projects coming out in theaters or on streaming, I had to say, you know what? I have to do, as my final video of 2024, literally a video talking about just the projects I'm excited for coming in 2025. And I feel like that's the right way to end this year. Now, I do have to say, all the ones that are on my list may not be on your list, and that's understandable. And to me, that's fine. But the ones that I have on my list are the ones that I say would probably say that are the most appealing to me, which are the ones that are like the most connective to me, the ones that drew me in the most. And I'm not gonna list them in any sort of bizarre order. They're not based, I'm not like putting them in any particular order. All of these movies are of equal interest to me, of wanting to go see in theaters. Whether some are going to be better than others, I don't know. But they are of particular interest to me, and I think that this is essentially it. So let's talk Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, is coming out next year. We already have a trailer for that movie. I watched that trailer already like 3 or 4 times already, and I am just blown away at what I see in that, entire trailer. I do have a sneaky suspicion that they are setting this up to be the final Mission Impossible, and I say that in air quotes because I do not think that this is going to be the final Mission Impossible. I think that there will be more, but they are leading it in that direction. They are saying that everything that has happened in the other versions, in the other movies, have led up to this moment. Even props, even like moments, like there's a moment in that trailer that shows something that looks like the rabbit's foot from the third movie that now is popping up. There's a moment in that trailer as well that really draws me in, and I start to think about, like, he is looking at Julia, his wife. I have a huge prediction that that final shot in the trailer where he says, "Trust me one more time," that is not Haley Atwell. That is nobody else other than Julia, his wife, who he hasn't, really had too much contact with because he wants her to stay protected. This is who I think is going to show up in this movie. I really do think that Michelle Monaghan is going to show up in this movie and play that role. So yeah, that's my big prediction from that trailer. But nonetheless, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, definitely going to be something that I'm going to be looking out for in 2025. So among all the actual superhero movies that we're going to be getting in 2025, which is a lot of them, a lot of superhero movies, but amongst them, one that's really exciting to me is Superman, the new James Gunn movie. I am very hopeful that they are going to make something extraordinary with this. I mean, James Gunn has already praised the acting in this movie, that he's going to freak people out with how good he is. I'm hopeful that this is going to be one of those movies that are just really going to take it up a few notches and really going to show, I'm not going to say a new side to Superman, but it's going to show Superman how he used to be in, whether it be the TV show, or whether it is in some other form that is not of the DCU as it was with, Zack Snyder and that sort of dark, heavy tone to Superman. I think that Superman is a very hopeful character. I think he is a big example to people. So I'm really crossing my fingers to see that side of Superman, to see that side of hopefulness, that joy that technically you're supposed to have when you watch a Superman movie, and not this like almost existential dread like glooming over you. I hope that this movie does that justice and does that energy that Superman is supposed to have justice. Now, another superhero movie, not from the DC but in the Marvel universe, that I definitely want to see is Fantastic Four: First Steps. I think this movie is going to be spectacular. I really do think that this is going to be one of the big highlights of 2025 when it comes to superhero movies. I think that people are going to be like, okay, the MCU is back, and what's great is that after so many years now, after maybe the past 3 years or so, 3-ish years, we are finally getting multiple movies that are of Marvel in 1 year. And to me, that is a great sign. And it's not like we have a huge separation in between them. It's a difference between maybe 2 months or 3 months between each project. And I think that's awesome. We're starting off the year with other movies, and then like right in between there, we're gonna get, Fantastic Four, which is looking spectacular based on all the leaked footage that we've seen. So I'm really excited to see that, hopefully in theaters. Now, another superhero project from Marvel that I'm also really excited to see is Captain America: Brave New World. And for me personally, it's because we're getting a new Captain America now. We're getting Sam Wilson. We're getting this completely different version of that Captain America character that so many people absolutely love. I mean, I know a lot of people are very connected to something like Steve Rogers. So to see Sam Wilson in that position is going to be very interesting and very new. And I mean, come on, he can fly, which is super cool. I mean, I'm really, really excited to see Anthony Mackie in this role and literally leading a movie. I mean, we saw him in his series, with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and which later is Captain America and the Winter Soldier, which is at the very end of the series that we see that. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a really cool kind of bridge to this movie. So I think that if you want to understand what is going on in this movie and who the characters are and why they're in this situation, I think Brave New World's aftermath of what you see in Falcon and Winter Soldier is, I think, necessary. I think it's a necessary watch if you want to know what's happening in there. But nonetheless, that is definitely a project that I'm very excited to see, specifically because we're getting to see Tiamut. We're getting to see the big celestial being for the first time outside of Eternals. So, fingers crossed that we're finally getting a project that acknowledges that. Now, I think it would be too boring if I continued with more superhero movies. So you know what? Let's take a small breather from the superhero movies and let's talk about a sort of gaming-related movie, and that is Tron Ares. Now, people were not expecting. I mean, I'm not going to say that people were never going to expect Tron Ares. Now, Tron Ares has been in pre-production, I would say, maybe the past 6 years. Because I remember, like, right after Tron Legacy, like maybe a year or two after Tron Legacy, we started to hear buzz about a Tron 3, and that Tron would have a third movie, and that it would involve other parts and everything. But what I want to see more than anything in this movie is not even Jared Leto in that red suit that we've already seen from teasers and from like people recording with their phones, you know, on the street. I am more excited to see how the heck Jeff Bridges is still alive. That's all I want to know. I want to know how the heck that, you know, Sam Flynn is still alive. That's what I want to know. And if I can figure that out in my crazy brain after watching this movie, I'll take a breather and we'll celebrate and, you know, whatever. But that's the main thing here. I really could care less right now about Jared Leto, even though he looks super cool in that outfit. I really want to know about Sam Flynn and how the heck he's still alive. But nonetheless, that is definitely a project that I'm still looking out for in 2025. Now let's talk about on the opposite end of the action spectrum. Like, what's on the opposite end of that? And that's musicals. Very opposite end, by the way. And one of those musicals that I'm very excited to see is Snow White. I know you were thinking. I know you were thinking about Wicked Part 2. I haven't even seen Wicked Part 1 yet. So before I can even talk about Wicked Part 2, let's just end the conversation there. But Snow White is definitely what I'm excited to see. I really do want to see Rachel Zegler in this movie succeed. She has been, you know, through a lot after, you know, hearing about her. And I'm gonna make a separate video. I want you guys to know this. I'm gonna make a separate video just on that situation alone, but I'm leaving that to next year. But right now, I think that Rachel Zegler deserves a win with this movie. You know, Snow White is literally something that deserves a lot of care. And I think that Disney, when they chose her for this role, I think they chose her because they knew that she's a fan of this character and she was gonna make the story justice. She's gonna tell the story of Snow White in her way and be able to exude that. And I feel like this is a great movie to actually do that. Now, a lot of people have come out with kind of really stupid criticisms about this movie without even giving the movie a shot. And I think that people deserve to give this movie a shot. You know, I feel like Rachel Zegler is a super talented individual. She is, like, literally, she's built for musicals. Like her vocals are literally built for musicals. So this seems like the perfect fit for her. And I'm really hoping that this movie is a success because she deserves a win for this. And seeing the Wicked Witch be played by Gal Gadot, and a lot of people have been saying, like, why is she jealous of Rachel Zegler? Everybody's gonna make that stupid assumption. Ignore it, because this is a story. This is an old kid's story that they're trying to retell. And I think Disney and all of their care in the world that they have for Snow White, I don't think that they would have made a stupid mistake by putting Rachel Zegler. But then again, we have to watch the movie in order to make that judgment call. So let's not make that judgment call right now, and let's wait till the movie comes out and we watch it, and then we can make our assumptions and make our, you know, world views public. But for this point right now, I really am looking forward to Snow White. Now, not a lot of people are saying it, not a lot of people are talking about it, but I feel like it deserves to be said. We are finally getting another Jurassic World movie. I think you guys thought I was going to say something else, but yes, we are getting another Jurassic World movie called Jurassic World Rebirth. And I don't know how to feel about this other than I'm super excited. I am super excited because this is being directed by Gareth Edwards, and some of you might not know that name, but Gareth Edwards is the guy who did Rogue One. He's the guy who directed The Creator, which I think is a amazing movie, and you should definitely watch it if you have a chance, or if you want to rent it or buy it. Go out and do so, because it's 100% worth it. And I'm very excited to see his direction kind of move into Jurassic World. I love his direction style. I love the cinematography that is put in his movies. So I am very excited to see what he's going to do in Jurassic World. Now, we have very light details about this movie. So I don't know what else to say about this movie other than I am super excited to see his work. And this is probably going to be the first of the last couple of Jurassic World movies that makes me want to go to a theater and watch. And I think that's the big thing. I think that Gareth Edwards is the type of guy who would more than likely get me to leave my house and go watch this movie in theaters. So yes, I definitely want to see Jurassic World Rebirth. Can you see me? How about now? Can you still see me? Oh, I'm back. You see me now? You didn't see me, but now you see me. You see what I'm doing there? Because Now You See Me 3 is coming out next year, and I love Now You See Me. I love the first movie. The second movie had parts that I didn't love as much, but there's still a lot to love there. There's still a lot to love in Now You See Me 2. And to think that this movie is gonna have a third one is really exciting to me. Really exciting. And I mean, we've gotten very light information about this movie. But honestly, it's looking really well. You know, I've the most that I've heard from this movie is that Ariana Greenblatt is going to be in this movie. Like, that's the most I have heard from this movie. No storylines, no details, nothing. But what I do expect is to see the whole gang there. You know, Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, seeing, you know, Isla Fisher come back, because that's what I heard, she's coming back. Isla Fisher's coming back, you know, seeing Dave Franco back. I love that crew. Love that crew dynamic that they have. It's so much fun seeing them on screen, and I love this movie. So I really hope that they do it justice and they bring some really cool flair to this new Now You See Me movie. Now, I can't say that this is a superhero movie, but it is a movie that I'm very excited about. I would have to say that I am more excited about this movie than I am for the other Marvel projects coming out in 2025, and that's Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts, after seeing that 3-minute trailer that was released, which shows them in their entirety, in detail, seeing the interactions with them having with each other, you know, seeing Bucky kind of like stop that limo from, you know, keep like going, and seeing that Bucky and like the rest of the gang have some sort of friction. I don't know what's happening there. All I know is that Bucky stops a limo and flips a truck. Like, that in and of itself already sells me on the project, but it all feels very well done. Like, the cinematography looks great, the banter that is on screen is fantastic. Like I said, I am more excited for this movie than most people would be, because yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think that I'm more excited about this movie than I am about like Captain America or even Fantastic Four. I'm more excited about this movie than for those movies, but it's crazy. But it looks like it's going to be really good, and a great Marvel movie for that matter. And to top off this list, I cannot, in good faith, discuss any list going into 2025, specifically with movies, specifically with the experiences that we could be having in movie theaters, I cannot in good faith forget to mention my number one movie to go watch. And this is the crazy thing. I'm excited to go see a bunch of movies in 2025. But the one movie that I would say is like a requirement for me to go see in theaters has to be Avatar: Fire and Ash. And that mainly is because it is part of one of my favorite sort of movie sagas now at this point. Avatar is nothing more than absolute glorious beauty, you know, and it's interwoven with incredible storytelling and emotional moments and connectiveness. James Cameron, man, bless his soul. This guy is absolutely amazing. He has captured emotions and depth in characters that are made entirely of CG, and it feels real. It feels like a real world. It doesn't feel like it's an entirely built world out of nowhere. You know, it feels like there is depth in every moment that you see these characters. So it just excites me to know that there's another 3 or 4 Avatar movies still left to be released. You know, I know that it's gonna be incredible, like what he has set up, what James Cameron has set up. And he even said that, you know, these movies are gonna more than likely outlive him. But it's really interesting to see this entire world be created and constructed from his imagination, and I have nothing but praise and love for, you know, Avatar as is. So seeing that we're gonna get a new movie this year is just absolutely mind-blowing. Now I know my main list is done, and this entire video has gone on for way too long. I wanted this to be a much shorter video, but I have to discuss these movies even in a small tidbits. But I have to say, I have a few honorable mentions that I would like to add to the very end here. So the first one that I would like to say is Mickey 17, which is this sort of space movie that is coming out, that has like some really mysteriousness associated with it. I think that, you know, seeing Robert Pattinson in this sort of situation, I kind of seen him in that sort of situation before in another movie, but seeing him again in this movie is going to be really interesting. So yeah, Mickey 17 is definitely on my list of honorable mentions for 2025. Now, when it comes to action movies, I know I'm gonna sound a little bit cliche when I say this, but I do think a lot of people are ready to see Ballerina, which is an expansion of the John Wick universe. And we've been getting some expansions to the John Wick universe. I mean, recently we got The Continental, which I didn't even watch, but it's sort of an expansion of the John Wick universe, which is really cool. I think that they wanted to expand that world, but I think Ballerina is going to be much cooler. And I think even more so, having Ana de Armas in this movie as the titular character, phenomenal. And I feel like her story is going to be almost neck and neck with like a Black Widow, which the trailer kind of suggests. But I am very, very curious as to how well this movie is going to play out. They say that John Wick is going to be in this movie for a lot of this movie, so I'm not super like, whoa, shocked at the idea. But I am excited to see more of Ana de Armas on screen doing all the crazy stuff that we see from Keanu Reeves in the John Wick movies. I am excited to see that, by the way. So, yeah, Ballerina is definitely in those honorable mentions. Now, virality, things that go viral, I think we have to discuss whenever a certain movie goes viral in such a way that it spurs into the fact that we're going to get a sequel to it. And that comes in the form of Megan 2.0. We're getting Megan again as a movie, which is mind-blowing. I really liked the first Megan. So, and that movie went viral. Let's be honest. This movie went viral. People went out to see it in theaters. It was successful. It was fairly successful in theaters. And the overall character became a viral hit. So it's a natural fit to have Megan get a sequel. And I hope that we get a really good story with Megan 2.0, because if we get a shitty one, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to watch, because it deserves to have a good, meaty story this time around, rather than having her just kill. Let's use a little bit more intelligence and find intelligent ways in this story to apply some really creative kill scenes, per se. Speaking of John Wick spin-offs, even though it is not in the John Wick universe, or we could call it a Wick-like, sort of like we talk about in games like a Metroidvania or like a Souls-like, this is more like a Wick-like storyline, and that's Nobody. And Nobody 2 is now coming out in 2025. Bob Odenkirk is an absolute badass in this movie, in the first one at least, but I'm ready to see him kick some butt in a second movie. And he delivered on the first movie. He really delivered on the first movie. Apart from that, it was really fun to see, Christopher Lloyd shoot a shotgun. It was really cool. Seeing that Christopher Lloyd, like, in my mind, whenever I think of Christopher Lloyd, I think of him as Doc in Back to the Future. But seeing him as this, like, completely, like, angry guy, like, is really, like, funny, but really interesting as well, because it's a different side to that person. So I'm really interested in seeing Nobody 2 really lives up to the hype that the first movie set the bar for. So to finally end this off, I think we need to talk about a movie that's going to be coming out on streaming. A movie that completely took me by surprise, and when I saw the trailer, it pumped me up. It got me excited. And that's The Gorge. I know I know it came out just recently, the trailer, but oh my god, this looks like a really good movie. And considering that it's going to be a streaming movie, and it has Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy and Sigourney Weaver, oh my god. And the visuals itself look great. It's produced by Skydance, so it's going to be fantastic. I don't know what else to say. This looks like an amazing movie. It pumped me up. I was like, dude, we gotta see this, like, now. Like, come on, bring it on. So yeah, The Gorge. I am definitely pumped about this movie. Even though it's going to streaming, I'm very pumped to see this movie. So, what do you think of my list? Do you think it's a good list? Do you think that I covered enough movies? I'm pretty sure that I forgot a few movies, and if I did, please feel free to put those down below, because I really hope that there are more movies that I forgot to mention that I think most people would have a way of telling me, like saying, hey, you forgot to talk about this movie, you forgot to talk about that movie. Nonetheless, if you remember any movies, please feel free to put them down below, and let's have the discussion right here. Now, before we end this video off, I want to thank every single one of you who has subscribed to this channel. If you have been here since 2022, when I first started this channel, and you've been following my growth up until this point, I want to thank you. I think that we are building a really cool community here of people who love movies, who love TV shows, who love gaming, you know, who are part of something that's really cool and really fun, and to open up discussions and have, you know, these open dialogues about the things that we love and we love to watch, and sometimes it's not even something that you love to watch and you want to find a way of, you know, airing out your grievances, and you guys put that down in the comments below, and I love talking to you guys. I want you guys to know this. When you comment on my videos, I love responding to these comments, because ultimately it's how we get to know each other. It's how we get to, you know, have these discussions in the first place. So thank you so much for being here. And honestly, I want to set a goal. You know, I know that this is wild, but I really want to set a goal for myself, hopefully in this new year. And my goal is that I want to reach maybe 1,000 subscribers. I really think that it would be really cool to reach 1,000 subscribers on this channel, and I want to see if I can do it in 6 months. So I mean, if you are someone who wants to help me in that venture, if you really want to see if we can get to 1,000 subscribers in June, so let's set the bar there. I want to reach 1,000 subscribers by June of 2025. If we can do that, I'll do a Q&A. So you guys can have questions that you want to send in to me that I can answer, or you guys want to know what I think about a certain movie or a certain game or a certain TV series. Please feel free to put those comments when we reach 1,000 subscribers. So if you once we reach 1,000 subscribers, I'm more than likely going to do a celebration video for reaching 1,000 subscribers. So let's see if we can actually do that. Let's see if we can actually reach that goal in the coming year. And maybe I'll have a few surprises down the road that I can actually, you know, maybe surprise you guys with. So let's do it. Let's grow this channel. Let's do this thing, you know. And you know, I really want to thank every single one of you who has watched these videos. Even if you're not subscribed, I want to thank you for at least watching these videos, because yeah, it's really fun. I love doing these videos for you guys and having these discussions and opening dialogue to everybody. It's an absolute treat for me, and I love doing it. And I really think that 2025 is going to bring some really cool projects and fun things to do and fun things to talk about. And I'm hoping that I get to do them here with you, with this awesome community of people here on The Movie Savant. So I would like to wish every one of you a happy holidays, whether you celebrate Christmas, Kwanzaa, you know, Hanukkah, whatever holiday you celebrate. I want you to have a happy one with your family, with your friends, with the people you care about, and I want you to have a very happy New Year. New Year's Eve is coming, a new year is coming along with it, and hopefully with good, positive change for the world. And I really hope that this, you know, is a safe space for all of you who want to be able to come and talk about movies and things that you enjoy. And I really want to continue that. I want to continue being this positive space for all of us geeks and nerds who love movies, you know, gaming and TV shows. And hopefully we'll be here to do that together. So thank you so much for watching this video. Have a happy new year. Have a happy holidays. And I'll see you in 2025.
Scrolling through YouTube, same old routine, then bam, Movie Savant, what a scene. Trivia bombshells dropping knowledge like rain. Forget the dishes, gotta watch it again. Movie buffs unite, savants to place. Subscribe and hit the bell, don't leave a trace. Next level knowledge keeps you in the loop. Savant's got the scoop, ain't nothing to recoup.